Hi, welcome back to another video of lesson 8. In this video, we are going to attempt a practice problem, and it is very well known problem. And whenever you study in OOP in your university, most of the time you will encounter the problems like distance class, the time class, and you have to make some changes in it. So most common classes are like distance class, time class, employee class, such kind of things. Okay, so let's read out the statement of our practice problem. So here we have create a class called time that has a separate integer member data for hours, minutes and seconds. One constructor should initialize this data to 0 and another should initialize it to fixed values. Okay, now let's implement this. First of all, let's read the whole statement, then we will see what we have to do first. Okay, so it's better to read the problem statement completely. Okay, don't make the mistake, just go for the solution. Another member function should display it in this format as it presented over here. The final member function should add two objects of type time passed as arguments. A main program should create two initialized time objects and one that is not initialized. Then it should add the two initialized values together, leaving the result in the third time variable. Finally, it should display the value of this third variable. Okay, let's go and have a look at how we are going to implement and solve this problem. Let's go. Alright, so here we are in our class. So the first thing that we are going to do is to create a time class. Okay, so we have created a class by the name of time. Okay, so the thing that they told us to access the variables like hours, minutes, seconds with the help of constructor or member functions. So it clearly shows that these members are going to be in our private section, because otherwise we didn't need any member functions or constructors to access them. So let's create a private section, and within our private section we will have integer hours and then integer minutes and then integer seconds. Okay, now within our public section what we are going to have, we are going to have our constructor. So one constructor is going to be a default an empty constructor with no arguments, and with the help of this constructor what we are going to do, we are going to assign 0 to each entity, each member variable. Okay, so minutes, hours, each and everything will be equals to 0. Okay, all right, seconds also equals to 0. Now what we are going to have is another constructor with passing arguments. In these arguments we will receive hours, we will receive minutes, we will receive seconds as well as our parameters. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to use this keyword, and this hours is equals to hours, and this minutes is going to be equals to minutes, and this seconds is equals to seconds. Okay, you can do this with simple method of not using this keyword. So we have already studied that what is the basic purpose of this keyword in our classes, so we can use this keyword. Otherwise you would have to write some other name like h or whatever it is, just to differentiate between these two things, that this belongs to this class and this belongs to this hours. Okay, now what we have done so far, let's have a look. We have created a class called time, and it has separate integer member data for hours, minutes and seconds. Done. One constructor should initialize this to 0. Done. And another should initialize it to fixed value. Another member function should display. Okay, fixed values we have got it until end. Now we have to design this format. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the design is going to be void display function, in which we are going to display our time. See out the time is equals to, and we will have hours and a single colon with some space, and then minutes, not minus, minutes, then again single colon, or we will remove this space. I guess, let's see, seconds, and we will have n and del. Okay, now let's try and test this function. Okay, so we will create a class time, and we will declare an object with this data type class, so time1. Okay, now with this time, what we are going to have, we are going to have zeros only. Why? Because if we are calling we are declaring an object with just empty parameters, that means that it is going to call this constructor, the default constructor, which will assign 0 to each member variable. Now let's run this code, and we will have a time1 dot display. All right, so let's run this code. So as you guys can see, we have got the format 000, and it's a correct format, I guess, where it is. Yes, it is a total correct format. Okay. Now what we are going to do next, the next objective is that the final member function should add 2 objects of type time passed as argument. Okay, let's achieve this as well. So the first thing that we are going to do is that void add 2 objects. Now as a parameter, what we are going to receive, as you guys already know how the function works, the data type name has to be written first before a variable name if there is any parameter. So we are going to receive 2 parameters as the objects of time class. So what we are going to do, we are going to write the name of data type. So here the data type is the user defined data type, which is time, and we will say t1 and time t2. Okay, so this will just create the copies of the parameters, parameters that are being passed here in the main function. So we have t1 and t2. So what we are going to do, we are going to update ours with equals to t1 dot ours plus t2 dot ours. Now in minutes, we will write minutes is equals to t1 dot minutes plus t2 dot minutes. In seconds, we will write seconds is equals to t1 dot seconds plus t2 dot seconds. All right. So we have added hours within hour. Now you will ask me a question, maybe you have a doubt that why we haven't used a returning data type of time, and why we haven't used T3 like or a temporary class in which we will save hours, minutes, second. That is going to be a really good question. Let me answer that. Okay. The reason for it is that we are dealing with the member functions. And as I have already told you previously how the member functions work, whenever you call a member function, that functions receive that object by itself. For example, if I am calling time1.display, and in display what I am doing, I am printing hours, minutes, seconds. Here I am using nothing. I am just using these variable names and just printing out this. Now whenever I call time1.display, the compiler knows that these hours, these minutes, these seconds are for the instance time1, not for the any other time. So automatically it knows that we are dealing with this object. So here I am not returning any class or returning any value. The reason for it is that it is a member function. So if I call it with the time3.add, so it will receive 2 another classes, and with the help of those classes values, what it will do is that it will store all the values within these T3, time 3 hours. Okay, so suppose this as a T3. Okay, this is T3 hours, T3 minutes, T3 seconds, but it is a member function, so it will automatically update the values of time 3. Let's have a look. Okay, so first of all, let's display another let's declare another object time 2. Within time 2 we will have what? We will have some data as 12, 10 and 23. Now let's call this time 2 dot display. Okay, let's have a look what is the outputs on the screen. All right, so we have 0, 0, 0, 12, 10, 23. So our constructors are working perfectly fine. Okay, so our constructors are working very good. Okay, so this is the 0 constructor, this is default constructor, and this is the parameterized constructor values. Now what the program says to us, it says that pass the classes as in parameters and then add them into our third object. So we will create another time, so we will have time 3. Okay, and here we will initialize this by 0, 8 I guess, and here we will write it as let's say 3, 11 and 20. All right, so we have time 3. Now what we are going to do, we are going to add call time 3 dot 8. Okay, in add we will pass time 1 and time 2. Okay, and we will print the time 3 dot display. All right, let's hope for the best and let's run this program. Okay, so we have some syntax. Okay, it should be 8. All right, so here we have 3, 11, 20, 8, 10, 23. So 3 plus 8 is 11, 11 plus 10 is 21, and 20 plus 23 is 43. So what we have done, we have successfully created a time class in which we have 0 time as well as parameterized constructor and some specific value time variables as well. And with the help of member function, we can add 2 times as well. Now you can never add 2 classes directly with the help of plus operator. You will be learning that concept in the upcoming concept called operator overloading. So hold on for that. If you have some kind of confusion in your mind that why I didn't use time 1 plus time 2 directly, I can't do it simply. Okay, just for now you cannot do it. You have to do it in some other ways, like with the help of this member functions. I did it. Okay, now here is the thing, here is the logical task for you guys. What if I write here, 20 plus 60? So these are 80 seconds. Does 80 seconds exist? No, 80 seconds doesn't exist. Okay, so what if I write 59 plus 43 minutes? So it will be also exceeding the limit of 60. What if I have 12 plus 13 hours? What it will be exceeding by 24. So I'm giving you a task to you guys that you have to make such logic like this. Practice this for yourself, okay? The program should work like this. We do not allow user to enter values only within range of 24 hours. First task is this, that your program should work like this, that it only allows the user that the R values should range from 0 to 23. Okay, 0 to 23. Another thing that is going to happen, if minutes are greater than 59, then it means increment R by 1. Sorry, R not. Increment R's by 1. Okay. So for example, if I have like 10, 59 and 30 seconds. So if it just reaches 10:60, it will be not 10 anymore. It will be 11 a.m. or p.m. One thing. Another thing, you have to do it same for the seconds. If seconds exceeds greater than 59, increment minutes by 1. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. One another thing, all of these things I will tell you to do it within your display function. Okay, so in display you have to analyze the whole time data and based on time. Okay, now another thing, if hours are greater than 12, greater than or equals to 12, then print format like 11. The format should print also PM for greater than or equals to 10, and for less than that it should print AM. Then your clock and the timing will be somehow a real life time. So I have given you the concept, the building block, and the reason and the logic as well. Now your guys' task is to practice this and to implement all of these things, okay? And let me know, guys, and if you have any doubt you can ask me directly within the comments as well. You can contact me on any platform, on social media, LinkedIn, whatever you want, okay? So this is enough for this tutorial, and I am expecting you guys to practice this. This is going to boost up your logical thinking as well as your practice on these topics and other topics that you have studied before. So this is it for the abstraction and encapsulation lesson 8. From the next lesson we are going to start operator overloading. Until then, bye.